Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube video. Today I am chopping up some vegetables, meal prepping, getting this stuff ready for my salad, and delicious, beautiful colors. And I'm also having my green smoothie, which I have every single day. It's delicious, makes me feel good. And I do have a video also on my channel showing you how to make this smoothie. So if you want to feel better, if you want to reverse disease, if you want to heal, if you want to prevent yourself from getting sick, getting a virus or bacteria, you need to be drinking this every single day. Chia seeds, kale, I throw some sprouts in mine, water, and the fruit of choice. Banana and frozen mango I use in mine. So that's what's in here. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about 5 things that cause people to fail as a vegan. When people go to a vegan diet or go to a plant-based diet and become vegan, these are reasons as to why people tend to fail after a week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months, and go back to eating animal products. So I'm going to go over that today. So reason number 1, a lot of people will eat too many carbohydrates and not enough proteins and healthy fats. And this is so important. This took me like 4 years to learn this. So because when I went vegetarian, this is for vegetarians too. When I went vegetarian, I focused so much on the carbs, like cereal, bread, rice, beans. Beans are a protein too, but they're mostly carbohydrate. And even like the veggie burgers and stuff that I would eat were also not high protein ones. And I stayed away from soy for some reason. That's my next point, but high carbohydrate. And I was always really skinny. So when I went vegan, I started focusing on eating more protein and going to the gym, and I got bigger. So this is what you probably want if you want to be a fit vegan, if you don't want to feel weak, or if you want to make sure that you're keeping the fat off and increasing your muscle mass, then you have to focus on eating higher protein foods like tofu, tempeh, seitan, and incorporating those into your diet. It's really important because a lot of people go vegan and they utilize there are amazing products out there on the market that are for vegans, but they're mostly carbohydrate, right? And there's all those delicious snacks and goodies too, but those are high carbohydrate, high sugar, and that is not going to lead you to the best possible nutrition. You may end up feeling weak if you eat low protein and if you don't eat enough healthy fats. So top foods I would recommend are going to be for your proteins: tofu, tempeh, seitan, lentils, like sprouting them especially, and hemp seeds. What else? Spirulina. These are all foods that I recommend that you eat on a daily basis. And then for your healthy fats, making sure that you get those chia seeds in, hemp seeds again, avocado, eat one avocado a day. And what else should we do for healthy fats? Walnuts are amazing. I do walnuts for breakfast. And tofu also has fat in it as well. So made from the soybean. So a lot of people will buy produce, vegetables, and then they'll let it sit on their counter and go to waste. Now, I would never let these peppers go to waste because they were extremely overpriced. For one, they were more than you'd care to know. They're organic, of course, but reason number 2 why people stop being vegan is they're afraid of tofu. There's a fear, especially in the health food world, there's a fear of soy and a fear of tofu. So let me explain to you why that fear should not be there and why it's been purposely put there in place by the meat and dairy industries to frighten you from plant-based products and to encourage you to consume more meat. So most of the soy that's produced in the world, 77% of soy, is grown in the world to feed not vegans, which make up 1%, they say 1% of the population. They go to feed livestock, cows, chickens, pigs, goats, everything that you eat. So in fact, actually, you eat more soy than I eat if you're a meat eater. So this is misplaced because I often have people say to me, I just had someone say to me recently, careful eating all that soy, it's bad for you, it increases estrogen in the body, which is just a fear-mongering talking point, which I explained to this person, and they didn't believe me because the fear tactic and the propaganda has worked so well that people believe that a soybean is somehow responsible for increasing estrogen in the body. Now, if you look this up, you'll find the correct scientific information. This has been tested, researched, studied many times, and it's been proven that soy does not increase estrogen in females or in males. The estrogen that's found in soy is a phytoestrogen. It's not the same as human estrogen, and it does not act the same in the body. It's a much weaker version of it. In fact, it's been shown to do the opposite. Soy has been shown to increase testosterone in men and lower the risk of certain cancers, prostate and breast cancer, I believe. So soy is actually beneficial to you to eat. And tofu is such a wonderful tool to use because you can make it into so many things. You can change the flavor. It's so adaptable. It's such a great meat replacement. It tastes delicious. If you get firm tofu, it just has that meaty texture to it. So if you don't use tofu, then you are missing out on a huge chunk of this equation. And that's, frankly, I think one of the largest reasons why people stop being vegan and going back to eating meat, because they miss that meaty texture and they're convinced that soy is bad for you. Reason number 3, people stop being vegan and go back to eating animal products and dead animals, is that they give in to the fear-mongering and pressure from their friends and or family. So this is where we need to be deep-rooted in our beliefs and our convictions, and we need to know enough reasons as to why we're vegan in the first place. Remember, vegan's a philosophy, it's not a diet. And I encourage you to watch the documentaries that I've posted in the description of this video. These documentaries include, I'm gonna say them right now, definitely watch Earthlings and What the Health on Netflix, Game Changers on Netflix, Christspiracy. You can find that at christspiracy.com. And these are all vegan documentaries. And there's one more. Oh, in Dominion at dominion.org. Okay, so watch these documentaries so you can see the truth, and then you can adjust your lifestyle accordingly. But yes, people give in to the fear-mongering, the peer pressuring of, well, you're other, you're not like us, you're different from us because you're not eating the way that we eat. And honestly, that's one of the greatest strengths that you realize being vegan over time. Why would you want to eat like everybody else? Have you seen other people in our country? What they look like, how much they weigh, how many diseases they have, their blood pressure, their heart diseases, their strokes, their cholesterol, their diabetes, their cancers. Do you want, and all of that stuff is caused by diet and lifestyle. So do you want to be like everybody else? Or do you want to be fit and lean and healthy and vibrant and alive and eating all this color and life force that's in it? I don't cook this food, I eat it raw because it's full of life force and vitality, and it's gonna keep me going for the next 60 years. Okay, so, and standing in this position, not in a wheelchair or anything like that. So this is why you have to change your habits starting now. It's not too late. Anybody can start now. And you'll often have people, it's good to have people challenge your beliefs, but to convince people to participate in a system of torture just for the sensory pleasure of taste, it's really concerning to me, because we need to be having more compassion for these animals. I think the compassion is there. I think we learn it as children, or we have it inherently as children because children are innocent, and it's then taken away from us slowly over time. The system that exists in our society, which convinces children to consume animals, is underlying and pervasive and woven into the fabric of everything that we do and everything that we are. It's into commercials and TV, it's in toys, it's in books, it's in schools, it's in what parents teach their kids, it's in everything. So we teach our children to develop the idea that it's okay to enslave animals. It's okay to love certain animals while eating others. And that's something that's taught, and it's something that is an incorrect way of thinking, right? It's not moral, it's not ethical. So finding your way back to this is always wonderful, but when we don't have our reason strong enough, our why, right? So if our why is, I'm going vegan for health reasons, may not necessarily be strong enough of a reason. Because say you change something in your diet and you're not monitoring your diet properly, and your health you start getting weaker, or something in your health changes, that's maybe you have a detox symptom because you're getting all that sludge out of your body and you think it's the plant-based diet, and so you stop doing it, and that's not what we're going for here. So peer pressure from others is always a big thing, and allowing other people to persuade us back into don't eat low vibration like that. Don't fall into that. Like, why would you want to do this for yourself? Yes, the health is there. Yes, the environmental benefits are there, but it's about the animals, and it's about respecting them and leaving them alone. And when you do that, there are so many benefits that you get and receive. But you go into a different frequency. You're living in alignment. You're living with compassion. You're living out of hypocrisy. You're not participating in a system of mass torture and enslavement, mass enslavement. And when you're not doing that, there's a certain power in that. But don't let other people convince you to go back to that system. And that's what they'll try to do, because they're stuck in their ways. And they have bought into this ideology of carnism, and that we're the dominant species, speciesism, and that we're supposed to be doing, that we have the right, that we're the dominant species on this planet, and that we have the right to do this to other living beings, to enslave them, to kill them. Nobody has the right to do that. People use reasons to justify that they have the right, and anybody can say that. Like, they use God in the Bible and Jesus. Well, they say, well, God says in the Bible that we're supposed to eat meat, and Jesus ate fish, and all these reasons they claim, which are challenged. If you watch the film documentary Christspiracy, you'll see. But it's not true, and that's just a person justifying and using God to allow themselves to torture, kill, enslave another living being, which is exactly the opposite of God and what God wants. And so when you justify that type of thinking, you use different examples from places that give you perceived authority, like the Bible. Why vegans fail? Reason number, 4 or 5. They don't eat enough vegetables and whole foods and produce and living foods, okay? This is where the nutrition's at. So there's no point in going vegan to get off of a food system which is extremely bad, which has been proven as bad for human health, especially American health. We can see the results of that. And to go on to a plant-based diet where we have high processed foods and cookies and pizzas and Beyond Burgers, things of that nature. Now, don't get me wrong, those things are great once in a while and great tools and additions to a plant-based diet. And I'm glad they're there, because I never would have gone vegan, I don't think, without them. I don't really eat that stuff anymore, but it's been 5 years for me, so this is a journey again. So it just takes time, and it's just a process. It's a learning process. It's your taste buds changing, it's your gut microbiome shifting, but moving back to real food that's grown from the ground in the soil. And that is This is probably the closest thing I could get to a pepper that I've grown myself. I didn't grow this myself, but it's really fresh and it's full of nutrients. It's the closest thing I can get because I don't grow them myself. So you got to eat enough of this stuff. You got to eat primarily, most of your nutrition needs to come from raw vegetables and fruit and sprouts, lots of seeds, nuts, and then to a lesser extent your grains and your beans and things like that, legumes, and then your tofu, tempeh, seitan, also your healthy fats, avocado, walnut, things like that. So, just make sure that you're eating a variety of plant foods and that you're eating things that have color, like real food, not a lot of processed food. If you're healthy, a little bit of processed is okay, so long as you have the raw and the uncooked and the whole foods in there. So that's mistake number 4 or 5 that people do, is they don't eat this stuff. They're like, oh, vegetables, Nobody likes to eat vegetables. Lots of people don't. But vegetables are where it's at. I cannot explain the importance of that enough. Okay? So that's another tip for you. I think one of the reasons why people don't like to eat vegetables and fruit, and I truly think this is what happened to me, is because of our selection of fruits and vegetables in this country. I think that we pick our foods way too early in the season and we ship them across the country, which makes absolutely no sense. We grow a lot of our produce in California and then ship it to like Florida to sell. So that means they have to pick it really early. They have to refrigerate it or freeze it, and it loses so much of its nutrition by doing it that way. So I think it's a really inefficient system, because we, especially in this country, are just so inefficient with the things that we do and so against the environment. So if you want to become more environmentally sustainable and you want to become more connected to nature, then start growing your own food, but buying from like local places like farmers markets, things like that. Trying to buy organic if you can. So it doesn't have to be, but if you can. So those are things I did, because I think it's the selection. When you go to like a big chain grocery store, like Publix or places like that, and you look at the produce there, sometimes it just looks either really fake or it doesn't taste the best. And I think that is what dissuades people from eating. Now, I'm gonna tell you these. Doesn't this look like you want to eat it? Like you'd actually eat it? Like this is, I did pay a lot for these peppers and I'm not going to be buying them from that place anymore. But other than that, they are so delicious. When I buy a regular pepper, like at Winn-Dixie or something like that, it just doesn't taste good at all. So I can see why people won't want to eat that kind of stuff when they're buying produce from those places. Now, some people only have access to produce at those places, in which case, if that's what you have access to, that's what you have to do. You got to get those veggies in there somehow, though. But I'm gonna tell you, if you can get to a farmer's market or a Whole Foods store or something like that, or some farmer's market, and try to get your stuff from there, it's gonna taste so much better, more fresh, more nutrients, more nutrition, and that will allow you to start eating it more often too. If you want to change your life, if you want to have health, nobody's going to do it for you other than you. The doctors, the system, the government, all of these things in this country, the United States, are not set up currently for your benefit. Okay, they're set up as a profit system, and it's leading to one of the most highest countries with the poorest health outcomes in the world. Okay, and that's just the fact. So that should show you that these people aren't going to take care of you, and they're not going to make you healthy. So when you do things yourself, it's amazing, because you're taking responsibility, you're taking ownership. You're saying, I'm responsible for my own life. I'm worthy enough to put the time and the investment in myself, because I want to live a healthy life. I want to be there for my kids, my grandkids. I want to make a positive impact on the world. I want to leave the world in a better place than when I was born here. So in order to do that, you got to go on the phone and type in recipes, or go to Instagram and follow an account, an influencer that makes beautiful vegan dishes. That's not me right now. So just find somebody. I have recommendations if you'd like. Just let me know in the comments. I think that's going to be the end of this video because I don't want it to go too long, and I've given enough information. But eat more vegetables. Don't be afraid of tofu. Eat tofu, eat soy. Eat more vegetables. Eat healthy fats. Seek guidance and learn more. Learn language. Get inspiration from others. Follow activists. Follow vegans on social media, YouTube, and don't go in this alone. My last and final point is to join a community. Have a community of support where you're not doing this alone. And that was my mistake. And that's why it's taken me 5 years to not struggle as a vegan. So if you don't want to struggle as a vegan, if you want to be vegan but you're not sure how, then just send me a message in the description below. There's contact information and I will help you. I have an online community. I have an online Facebook group where all of us are figuring it out together. We have a support community there. We have other people who are going vegan, who are vegan, who have been vegan in the past, people who have great information to share, wins to share, struggles to share. The point is, when we do this together as a group, everybody succeeds and you get there much faster and more. You learn so much more. It's like a think tank. You get all together, you learn more, things happen much quicker, and you don't feel alone. You don't fail. You succeed together. So I have recipes in there. I have a menu in there. I actually provide live coaching 1 hour every Sunday into the group. So for an hour, I'm there to help guide you through this process, to make it easy for you, to answer your questions, anything that you need, I'm there for. So all the information's in the description, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.